Hi everyone, it's Bev DeBono, and I have a really fun technique for us, and it is using the Border Maker cartridge, um, the Border Maker cartridge system, but with the chain style cartridges. A chain style cartridge is one that punches in a continuous chain and is not connected to the paper anymore once you punch it. We have quite a few of them. Some of the older ones, the apples, the gingerbread, the ghosts. I mean, there's so many different ones. And then we have some of the newer ones, the snowflakes, the sea star. And the one I'll be using tonight is called Double Fan. So it's important that we use this type of Border Maker cartridge to get this effect. And what we're going to do tonight is, instead of punching it in a line, we're going to punch it around a square. But I'm going to show you a trick with that so that you have these corners that you can then use and decorate in many different ways. Okay, this particular one happens to be with papers from Polar Lights with the snowflake punch. This is the new Sweet on You collection, the Valentine collection, with an older heart punch. This was Sweet Summer with the Sea Star punch, which is really pretty. And this is a different idea with a stripe in the back. And this is a retired apple one with the school collection. So it's the same technique, but by just changing up your papers and your punches, it looks totally different. I love this technique so much because I just have so much fun with it, and I couldn't stop punching these out. They just were a lot of fun. So to get started, what you're going to need is two base papers. You need an outer base, and then you need an inside base. Okay, and then if you want to add a third layer, like I did for the Valentines, you could add a third layer here before you put your photos. Or if you don't want to, you can just put your photos on here. These are 4x4s. Or you can also use them for 4x6s. And it can also go this way with some smaller photos down one of the sides. Okay, so let's get our base papers. I'm going to be doing believe it or not, a Christmas one tonight with this Double Fan Border Maker cartridge. It's going to look a little different, but I think it'll be kind of fun. Now, the other tip I want to tell you is that because these are chain style Border Maker cartridges, and what we're going to be doing is punching it and using this negative space here as well. Sometimes it's easier when this inner paper is cardstock, because we're moving this piece, and we're trying to keep this other little small piece intact. We want to make sure that your paper is rather thick. Okay, so I would ask everyone to please mute themselves. I'm hearing some background noise. People that just joined us, please mute yourself. Okay, so let's get started. So we're going to be using our Border Maker cartridge in a different way. Okay, for my base, I'm going to be using this really bright pattern. And this is really sometimes a great time to use a pattern that's kind of busy. So this particular one is rather busy. And then I'm going to soften it by putting a white on top of it. And then my thought is to then put the 4x4s in the red so that you can see the layers on there. Okay, so I'm going to, first thing we need to do is we have our base, our inner base that we're using to actually cut the punch our border maker system is going to be 11 by 11. So if you have your cardstock or your other paper, you want to cut off 1 inch from 2 sides. So because cardstock sometimes has a little bit of a give to it, meaning that it's sometimes a little bit bigger than a 12 by 12, I'm going to actually open my arm and cut it to 11 by 11. So you want 11 inches one way, turn to the left at the 11 inches all the way to the top. Okay, and now we're ready to do our punches with our border maker system. Open your arm. This is the arm on the border maker system, which is our paper holder. And now we're going to put the 11 by 11 piece in. But remember, this is made for a 12 by 12. So we're not going to put it all the way to the top or to the bottom. We're going to center it on that arm. Okay, so when you look at your paper, I make sure that your distance here from the top on your paper holder is about the same as your distance from the bottom. Okay, and then we're going to fold back our paper holder. Make sure that your punch, I'm using double fan tonight, is all the way in and inserted and you hear that click. All right. And we are not going to start at number 1. We're going to start at the second. We're only going to punch 4 times. Usually this punches 6 times to do a complete row. We're only punching 4 times. We're starting on the second. All right, so let's put our cartridge holder in. Usually we start at the first. We're not going to do that. We're going to skip it. Start at your number 2 spot. Punch. Roll it down. Go slowly because these are chain punches. And only punch 4 times. Okay, so this is what we have. And this is really pretty because I really wanted to keep this line here as well as this negative space. I think this little line just really frames it and pops it up. Okay, now let's take our paper and move it. We're going to move it to the right. Put it back into your paper holder, paper guide of your border maker system. Center it top and bottom. Center it top and bottom. Start at the number 2 position and only punch 4 times. Okay, I'm going to clear my debris as I go along. Okay, move your paper to the right again. Be careful because these are little pieces now. Put it underneath. Center it on your paper tray. Fold back the guide. Start at position number 2. Only punch 4 times. And then our last turn again to the right. center your paper onto the paper guide. Start at position 2 and only punch 4 times. Okay, and now you see that we've got this beautiful cutaway, and we also have that really pretty little white edge to it. Isn't that pretty? I love this little white edge. Without the white edge, it's a totally different look. I love that because I think it just frames it even more than it would if it wasn't there. Okay, we're ready to take this down. And with your repo tape, and I'm using wax paper and my repo tape, or you can use your silicone mat. You see, I use some of these older fly sheets. And I am putting tape all the way down my punch, and then just one little piece in that little thin strip there, just right in the middle of that little thin strip. One little piece. Okay, and now I'm ready to use my regular tape. And when you flip it over, I have found it easier to grab it from the inside layer as opposed to the outside, because the outside you could tear your punch or your little white strip. Okay, and I'm just going to center it right onto my base there. And from here, you can then decide, oh, this is not exactly straight. This is why we use repo tape on it. So I'm going to actually use my mat this time. Okay, so here we go. So you have 11 by 11, so you're about a ½ inch in on all 4 sides. Okay, there you go. So now you have choices. You could leave it like this and just put your photos on here. I kind of like to put my mats on here, so I use them as photo like placeholders. These happen to be 4 by 4. If you want to use, just put another piece of paper in the middle, another decorative paper. That size would be 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. If you decide to put another row of decorative paper in the middle. Or you can do 4 by 6 mats, or you can do 3 3/4 inch squares. So the choices are endless. For this particular one, I'm going to do the 4 by 4 squares because I just like the way that that will look. So you want to cut 4 4 by 4 squares. This happened to be a scrap from my Christmas class I just did last week. This is the 4 by 4. Let me cut another 4 inches down and then another 4 inches. Okay, these are ready to get put onto my bases. And then if you want, you can put a title in the middle. You can decorate around the outside edge. The possibilities are really endless. So I will quickly do this one. And you see how fast this page really comes together. You could have this as one big title page, or this can fit up to 4 photos. If you decide to use 4x6s and then 3x3s, you could fit a lot more pictures on this page. So this is what I would do for this one. I might put a big ornament in the middle. If these little bows and gifts you can get from your advisors, and you could put little gifts around the outside edges of this. And I might put a little bling in the middle of the bow. Okay, so that is a really fast page. I hope you like it. Tell me which one you liked the best. I have so many to choose from. I have Christmas, winter, summer, school, and Valentine's. Okay, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I usually post a video every week with a fast technique. And if you subscribe to my channel, then you'll know every time I post a video. It's Bev DeBono Design. Thanks a lot. See you next time.